So we just got back from Dallas less than a couple of weeks ago. What did you think? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a very tiring trip, but Hanwha had a little something there that interests me, and we're pretty happy with what we saw there with their multi-imager camera.
We got an interview with one of the guys there.
Yep, it's a pretty detailed interview. I think you should check it out.
Yeah, we're at ASIS 2017 in Dallas, and saw a couple of cool items today. And this one solves a big problem for the industry. 5 years ago, when we had a hallway that had four pathways, we had to put 4 cameras, 4 drops, 4 PoE ports, right? Then a few years back, everybody came out with these really neat multi-sensor cameras. But when you started installing those cameras, you ran into this one issue. You couldn't get the angles you wanted. You had reflection. I found a solution. I think it's one of the hottest products this year in 2017. So I'm here at the Hanwha booth, and they have this really neat camera. If you look behind me, you see all of these images that are coming from that camera. They look clean, they're clear, and guess what? It's just one camera. It's sitting up there. And it's not big and bulky like a UFO like some of the ones I've seen in the past. The big deal here, these lenses are interchangeable and you can move them around. So I got the expert here, he's gonna give us a little bit into it, but I'm just really excited for the industry.
So thanks for the introduction. So Hanwha is a Hanwha tech win. We saw the problem that the industry was facing with. We still thought we could handle the issue much better. So what you're seeing here is 2 models. We actually have it in 2 variations, PNM 9080 BQ and PNM 9080 BQ, which the first one was a 2 megapixel, 4 of them totaling 8 megapixels, and the later one 81 BQ being 5 megapixel, 4 of them making 20 megapixels. So each lens within the multi-directional camera can be rotated, and one of the 4 lenses actually can be taken out, put it on the center of the camera facing straight down. So this is what you're seeing. There is a center lens shooting straight down. That's what you're seeing on the top display. And the other 3 lenses can be rotated anywhere around the circumference of the display camera, so you can view different ways. There are multiple ways you can use it. Hallway is a good example. Corner of the building is a good example. Or when you're just looking at the wide surveillance of the city, when you're high up in the ceiling or looking at different places, there's just a lot of really beneficial applications you can use with this camera.
So just think about the application like surveillance for police deployments in a citywide surveillance. You have a full camera that's actually connected to a wireless mesh. Well, who's watching that box with $7 grand worth of network gear in there? This camera now has a use by putting that lens at the bottom of the actual camera. So again, your cost savings is in your PoE, your network drops, the labor for those network drops, and now it's all done in one camera in a form factor that actually works for the industry. Tell us a little bit, this is a real critical point here for the network guys that are looking. When we talk about bandwidth, on a single wire now, on a single PoE port, you guys have some really interesting technology when it comes to compression of the bandwidth. Can you tell us, as it relates to this camera, the benefits we're going to see?
So all of our camera lineups as well as MBRs do support H.265. So it's becoming, it's already being adopted in the industry. There are a lot of new manufacturers jumping on the bandwagon, but we were one of the first, and our entire lineup supports H.265. So this camera also has it, and also with the new X series WiseNet 5 chipsets,
yes,
we now have Widestream 2, which has even more bandwidth saving.
Wow. So what's that going to mean?
It's going to mean less bandwidth on the network and less storage required,
which
will cost equal dollars saved, but increased quality. Normally when you save dollars, you don't get increased quality, you lose quality. Here you're getting increased quality, increased
money,
function,
better quality.
Yeah, it's like a win-win. Great job on the product, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so that was a pretty good video, and I would say my only question to you is, why do you go to great lengths when you already have cameras that you can just look at the spec sheet and see that they should fit? Why do you go all the way to the show to actually look at the camera?
Well, the spec sheets, they all look alike, and it's really marketing material. So they don't really give you a picture of what's happening. And for us, when we do a design consultation for a customer, we want to guarantee the performance of the system. So we need to see a tangible picture coming out of the camera, look at it in the show environment, and see, hey, this may be a possible solution for a future client to solve a problem. And once we see that camera, we get an idea of what it can do at the show. our next step is to get a sample in so we can do real world testing with it. So at the end of the day, our customer can actually see a result, what it's going to look like, versus a sheet of paper that has a bunch of bullet points on it. It really doesn't paint a picture of what it is. I mean, if you said you wanted a Budweiser beer or whatever beer, if I described it as best as I could, you couldn't taste that without having a sample of that beer.
Well, if it's a free beer, I'd take it. But I really also like the analogy you said with the speakers. Like, when you...
Back in the day.
Back in the day when, it's a 50-watt speaker
Yeah.
versus a brand name. And I won't say brand names just because
Right.
of the copyright or whatever. But if obviously a 600-watt speaker and a $10 600-watt speaker, there was a big difference in sound quality.
Absolutely.
And you knew it.
Yep.
So without testing that, is what you're saying, without bringing it back here in your own facility and doing the work yourself, you'd never really know.
You never really know, and then that's why you see 90% of these jobs that are being done today, the customer gets a result that they're not happy with. Now, they've already paid for it, so they're stuck with it. So what we do is we offer that alternative to a traditional consultant company, where we say, let's find you the best in bread technology. Let's create shots for you and video clips in that environment so you can see what it looks like. And if this meets the result you want, then we have a happy customer, we have an effective design, and overall a solution that works for everybody.